G'day! We've got Lisa Martin of Gofi8ure in Wellington, and she's got a nationwide business all around the whole country. Lisa, what motivates you?
Gofi8ure. Yeah, it's really, really interesting that you ask. Hello, everybody. Lovely to be here. Thanks, Andrew, for the opportunity. What motivates me? Those internal desires that get you out of bed every day. Probably a lot of them actually stem from some childhood learnings. So, you know, we'll deal with Mummy Dearest later. But I guess the thing is that the personality traits that also keep you on target with your motivation would be things that are sort of intrinsic to you, that are your values, and they're sort of non-negotiables. And it's kind of like, let's say, for example, you know, tenacity and determination, the willingness to question things, or also the determination, perhaps, like if someone asks you a question and you don't know the answer, I mean, I just wouldn't leave it there. I just have to go and find the answer and then come back and go, oh, you know, aren't I a good girl? And I mean, a lot of those things do actually come about as well, I think, from, like, you know, in your childhood as well, when you would approach things like family events or school or high school or your friends network or all that, you know, I'm a teenager, who am I, all those sorts of things, as you're, you know, getting ready to enter the world per se. There's a lot of those things that were applicable back then, and you learn them and they become a way of life, and they still motivate me as an adult, which is good because it means that at least they're solid. They're not kind of like, you know, 1 minute you're into this and then next minute you're into that. I think I've been fairly consistent in my lifetime about what's important, and the things that really motivate me to always want to be better than I was yesterday, or definitely to be in the sort of like the top 5%, an A+ student, if you will, or to do the best job possible, to be remembered because it was pretty premium work.
Yeah, no, that's grand, Lisa. That really explains your motivation. When I do the blog, people out there, I'll explain who Gofi8ure is, because it's an international audience that's actually watching this in Europe, Eastern Europe, and also in the United States of America and Canada.
Oh, okay.
And Rod is actually operating at the moment. There's going to be a few EAs in the United States who you know that are going to be watching this at the same time, some enrolled agents. Now, all about goal setting, Lisa. How do you set your goals, and what drives you with those goals?
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because I sort of think back to like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And so, you know how you have those basic needs, you know, food, shelter, water, paying your mortgage, all that sort of stuff. And then it goes up through 5 levels right through to, I think it's self-actualization needs. And I think even though that's theoretical, it really does, you know, you can just leverage off that all the time, because right through, I guess, you know, school, right through university, or working overseas, or my career, it's kind of like, you know, you just work through those planes consistently, and just keep pushing through the barriers, get through to the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, until the next challenge, and so on and so on. So, and goal setting's a part of that, because once you've sort of ticked that off your bucket list, so to speak, or ticked that off your list of not negotiables, then another one will come on. So I like to think, for example, that I could be doing less of the doing and more of the thinking. I think there's a real place for people to not be afraid to free up some time in their day, or in any given month, or at the very least a year, where you know, you do get to a stage where you're not doing, you are just a complete open space to think. And then when you think, and that might involve meditation, I mean, I don't, but I know other people do, but I think that ability to actually clear all that space, because you've done all that stuff, allows you to think and set some really, high level goals. I think when you meet people in your community sometimes and, they just seem a little bit sort of like ground into it, just got to get through, or their next deadline or whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's a bit of a concern, isn't it? Because when will they ever take the time out to be able to look back or look forward? It's just the next deadline and so on and so on. So more working on rather than working in keeps those goals, current and moving, and so that you're able to tick the list. But some of the goals are just so intrinsic that you wouldn't even put them on a list and tick them off. You would just be doing them.
So there's a movement now to celebrate goals, celebrate achievements, because they're the pat on the back of the journey. What we're trying to do with Digital Entrepreneur, for example, is make monetary and non-monetary goals and mix in personal goals in there as well. So there's a sense of achievement with those goal setting, with those milestones, with those key performance indicators that you have. So
yes.
It's been grand. Now, Gofi8ure is a digital disruption business. You're digitally disrupting all around. Well, you're trying to do the whole world. You've been traveling around the United States, Australia, Britain, and New Zealand. Just briefly, tell us about how you're digitally disrupting the world, Lisa.
By making something that people feel is pretty unsexy, making it fun, and something that people want to learn about, and learn about it obviously with the new tools that are available. So we talk about meeting people and actually getting ourselves immersed into their issues and doing a SWOT analysis in their site. But there's, never any talk anymore of the shoebox. It's all about finding tools in the cloud, online, faster, more efficient $6 million man ways of, rebuilding their business, and the trust and the confidence they have in that area of their business. We are disrupting financial literacy. Or should I say financial illiteracy? Is that a word?
Illiteracy.
You're illiterate, right? Disrupting those lack of confidence, things that people put up and say, I'm really bad at this, blah, blah, blah. They're not. They're just negatively thinking about it. So, we're making it fun. We're turning it on its head. We know that they're going to give it a go and be a bit of a DIY. That's a global phenomenon. Every small business owner thinks they can do it for themselves. They can't. So, we just get in there and say, well, let us help you, let's take the pain away. We're your packet of Panadol.
Hey, great, Lisa. Hey, thanks for your time today. It's been really brilliant. And what we'll do is we'll fill out a bit more of your statements with some of the stuff that you've done. So, for example, smoking hot bookkeepers, but that's another story. Thanks, Lisa.